Guys, it's Tuesday. Just done sprint planning. What's happening this week?
So it'll be a lot of advent work for Cutting Pixels this week. I want to try and get that finalised, try and get as much done as possible. But I think for Cutting Pixels, that's about it. I may be doing some Skystead stuff, doing some design work for the new mid-game bird to go with Chirp and Skipling.
Yeah, it's stream week, so I assume you'll be doing something on that later. We are kind of going into beta. We're sort of like a week-long process, so we're going to send out keys to most people next week, but if you're a Patreon at the top tier, we gave you keys yesterday, and mid-tier will be on Friday. So basically just a big panic to try and get as much in and ready and working, especially working until then. So there's going to be some more cooking stuff that Laura's going to be working on, and it's a lot of bug fixes. I've got so many bug fixes, so...
Okay, so I've been doing a lot of work on the Advent DLC today, and I'm currently in the midst of an image here, which is a sort of late night camping scene in the sort of snowy Alps, I suppose. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, but it's in the mountains. It looks quite cold. But as you can see, it's not done yet, and there's a few things I need to add, but the base shapes and sort of lighting and sort of assets are there, but I want to add a little bit more detail in certain areas, especially this mountain here. I think the mountain's a bit plain, so I'm thinking of adding in some sort of line shading here, like this. Sort of like that style. Obviously are better than that. I also want to put some things down here in the main part of the scene, which is the ground here. I'm thinking of adding a sort of like log here, maybe one here as well, and having some people sit on it. But I'm not entirely sure yet. Maybe a dog, who knows? I might add some rocks around too. And the sky as well, I think needs a bit more work. But hopefully once that's all added in, I'll go around, add a nice frame, and hopefully it'll look like a nice image.
Yeah, so today we are hoping to send out the beta access to Skystead Ranch to some of the Patreons, and then we'll go into full beta next week. So a bit nervous because I know the game has a lot of bugs in it, but we're only sending out to like 4 people or something today. But yeah, lots of bug fixing I've been doing. This board didn't have the icons for some of the extra bits of terrain, so if I swapped a rock, you see that the rock icon appears now. Got that working. There's been some bug fixing with items as well. Had a quick look at that. So some items have some health. This stoppage actually says 3 uses for the carrot, but it's set to 2. You can see on the bottom left there we've got 2 little green dots which represent the health of the carrot. And if we go ahead and dig 2 holes, 1, 2, pick up the carrot, you'll see that when you plant one, it takes 1 bit of damage, you plant a second one and it disappears altogether. So just a bit of an indicator for that. It actually looks like a lot of the items haven't been configured with health, so we'll have to work that one out. Also, we've got a fix for the health pop-up for damaging objects as well. So this was a bit glitchy before, but now it should be working back as intended. Not for all items, so we just quickly pop back and put the simple bin. Not quite sure why, but some items it's just not working at all. It's not appearing. I think it's something to do with the config of the item, but I just need to do a big pass on all the items and make sure everything's good. Also made a couple of changes to a couple of the camera mode stuff. So now if we go ahead and take a picture of the buttontail here, who is in the garden, it'll grayscale the image just to sort of keep it in line with the book, the field guide that we've got here, so it'll be grayscale. But if we take a picture of a Skylar over here, for example, it'll be like a sepia, so a bit worse, and that'll sort of match up with the sepia sort of look we've got here. So the idea is it goes sepia, black and white, and then if you get a full happy Skylar, then it'll be full colour. And that all appears in the books as well, so these various different stages you can see there, and I put little stickers next to them so you can see what stage they're currently at.
Yeah, okay, so today I've just been continuing adding stuff from the show and tell, working my way through the list we got last week. So I guess the first thing I want to show off now is that when you defeat enemies, they will drop coins. And yeah, so you can see here they'll drop these, and you can also get them out of different barrels, and you can just pick them up as well. They're hidden in the level in some places. And basically one of the bits of feedback we got from the show and tell was that it feels a bit rubbish if all the enemies don't come back, just because it feels like you can only really play the level how it's supposed to be played, like once. So yeah, rather than defeating all the enemies and not having them respawn, we're going to go with finding all the coins in a level instead. Although they're not actually going to be coins when we'll have the art in. They're going to be like spirits or something to fit the theme of the game, but for now they're just a cylinder with a gold material on, so they look exactly like coin. But yeah, you can see here the enemies respawn.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
As well, so that means you can play the level now as many times as you want, really, over and over and over. One other thing I kind of want to show off here is that another piece of feedback we got was that basically when you're pressing on these buttons, a lot of people didn't know what this button done. Obviously it opens this door down here, but yeah, when people were testing it, other people who haven't seen the game, played the game yet, they weren't really sure what it done. So we decided on adding a little cutscene like this. It's not perfect. Basically there's like a little bit of snapping there and stuff, but I'm quite proud of it. I've never done like a cutscene like that before, really, or like using different cameras and stuff like that, so I'm quite happy with how that turned out. And yeah, that was basically just to show people like what the button was doing. We're not going to have a proper cutscene like that for every single door. I think when you stand on the one through there, it's just going to kind of like snap to the different doors and just show it opening.
This milky numb cream dream started out as a cat. No, it started out like as a cat head here, but then I had to remove it because it didn't look very fruity. So now it suggests that it does have lots of fruit inside and just fits the game a bit more. But the cat was cute though.
Hello, girl. Oh, yeah. Douglas. Hello.
On today's list of bugs, mainly it's just been music that we've been sort of trying to get working. So we've got this main menu music. This needed toning down, so a lot of the music that we had, it was all normalized differently. So like some bits were louder than others, things like that. So this bit of music should be toned down, and it's looping now, which it wasn't before. Then if I go into a game, it should manage it. Yes, it did, yeah. So it's changed to the sort of like the dynamic biome music. This one didn't actually need modifying. It was quite simple. It was about right in terms of volume. The pause menu should work now, so it fades out everything. The pause menu also loops now, so there was a lot of issues with looping. It was just mainly looping and volume. And then the cave music should be working now. This was super loud before. It's kind of spooky. And also the pause music works in the cave. Does it? Is that the pause music? I don't think it is. No, I've broken it again.
Yeah, so just a few small things from me today. So basically, I've been doing a few things with the enemies, as well as kind of fixing stuff with the camera that I was doing yesterday and making it work in other parts, not just there. So the enemies here, you can see when they get close to you, they'll kind of do that, and then it's supposed to be like a counter. It's very kind of glitchy. I didn't really finish it yet, but yeah, if you hit them, they kind of reset. But basically the idea is to get close to you, and then yeah, it's just an indicator to show you when they'll attack you. It's really glitchy at the minute, but hopefully I'll have that fixed soon. And yeah, the other one was this flying enemy. So rather than having it just swoop straight at you, it kind of swoops at the floor and near you, and then yeah, this kind of indicator comes up around, and it's probably just a nicer way to do it. Although it kind of, when the charging thing's done for the other enemies, I'll do something similar for this enemy as well, because there's no real indication of when it's actually going to start like coming towards you.
I'm quite pleased with this wooden shed that I made. I just finished it off now. It had green wooden planks here, but Jack suggested changing them to dark brown, and it makes it look way more interesting with dark brown. And this beam isn't floating like that anymore, but in Substance Painter it is, because I didn't change it. I think it's quite cozy.
Okay, so I've primarily been working on the Advent DLC today. I came in a little bit today, so I haven't completely finished every image I want to get done. However, this one definitely took the bulk of my day. It's not necessarily a large one. It's 160 by 104, but it's more so how dense the image is. There's a lot of detail in here that I wanted to convey. I tried to go for a different style compared to the rest of the images that I've been doing. A lot of the images I've been doing recently, I've sort of got a lot of shading in there, a lot of lighting effects, but I wanted to keep this one sort of flat. I think it looks quite nice, and I'm quite happy with it. I did do a sort of fireplace image. I think it was on Advent 4, maybe 5, so I didn't want to do the exact same thing, so I made it into a more of a full scene. And overall, I think it's panned out pretty well. And for the second image I did today, it is where is it? This one here? Yeah, I did a sleeping cat with a little present next to it. I think it came out quite cute. No much to say on that one, just looks very cute.
I accidentally made a very British sauce, I guess. It was supposed to be spring onions fried on top of the fish, but Lee said it looks like peas, like mushy peas. That's what you'd get when you order fish and chips in England. You get mushy pea sauce. And I took the cream from the mousse. I'm sure I used it in other dishes as well, just to speed up everything. Could never tell that it's a dessert cream, but now it's a sauce.
Yeah, okay, so a couple of different things from me today. You can see the first one here is this level pattern I've been setting up, so this is for the first level. It's the only one I've set up so far, but I've got everything set up now so I can do it for the rest of the levels. Yeah, I was pretty happy with how that turned out. I liked the bit at the end zooming in on the star, and I think Lee said it'd be a good idea to have that for every level, and that was my kind of idea as well. So, but yeah, I guess other things is I've kind of just been sorting out some of the levels. So you can see here that level 1 has these pickups now, and Rob mentioned about putting them in groups of 5 or 3. He said that Mario 64 does it, and apparently it's something that's supposed to be quite satisfying. So yeah, we've kind of going to go through and put them all in groups of 3. I haven't done it for the vases yet, because if you hit them, it'll still just give you 1, because if I make it give you 3, it'll put them all in the exact same place, so I just kind of need to write something to scatter them out a little bit. But I'll quickly show off level 2 as well, because I've been standardizing the jumps, so just making them like a set length. There's one for the normal jump and there's one for the dash jump. And yeah, there's been a little bit of change here. I still haven't done the level introduction or anything, but I have been standardizing the jumps here. I had a bit of a wait time on this because it was probably a bit annoying to have no wait time on the first level. And ignore this, sorry, I just haven't baked the occlusion map in there. But yeah, basically every jump is kind of the same length now, or same distance I should say. And yeah, it's just because apparently it's easier for players to understand that they can make that jump if they're always the same length or something like that. That's probably a very bad explanation. I realise I haven't moved this either, I need to move that. Yeah, I'm going to tidy this level up soon.
Alright, yeah, I've got a few things to show off. So I've been working on this shop, UA UI layout, making lots of improvements, making sure that all of the tags and stuff are visible for what you're actually getting, making sure that all of these descriptions are lined up as well, so you can see that when the chili plant's fully grown, you'll get the spicy tag, things like that, getting all that sorted. Also been doing some sort of shifting around on the buildables. So we've basically been looking at what we need to do to finish off the game. So we want to make these wheels as nice as possible, so we want to make sure that each tab is filled up with 8 items when you complete the game. So Laura's got a few more tasks to do to sort of fill these gaps up, but we've also shifted a few things around. There's a lot more luxury items now. Just felt like a lot of the items there were in sort of like the wooden stone stuff, and the mace could fit quite well in luxury, so we've moved those around. We've got this house tab, which is just the kitchen stuff. We might want to improve on the house stuff later on, so I just thought I'd rename it instead of make it specifically for the kitchen. I've got one item to import, and then the last one I think we're going to do like a recipe book or something like that. And then we've got this new flooring tab. So this tab is basically all of the pieces of floor items that you can build, lots of rugs, lots of mats, but ideally with these we want them so that they don't actually occupy like floor space, so then we can build things on top, which you can't do at the moment. So on that I've actually been working on a bit of a change to the way that we actually manage this sort of system. So up until now it's just sort of been it's essentially just like how it's a rectangle, so how many spaces like horizontally and vertically you want to fill up. So I've added this like little UI element that's taken a picture of all of the objects from above. Some of them are a bit odd, but you can see like we can manually go in and change how many spaces we want, and then we can actually click on these buttons to specify these are the ones that we want occupied when you're building, things like that. And I've also added a different tab as well, so instead of it just being a boolean, it's either occupied or not, we can have these flooring spaces, because we need to have it so that it's flagged as flooring, because otherwise you'd be able to overlap different flooring pieces. So that's working quite well. So in theory we should be able to build this on. There's still a bit of work to do for it, but this new UI does add some cool things as well. So if I go to one of the doormats as a rug, yeah, so this, is it supposed to be, is it 4x4, is it 3x3? 4x4 I think. Yeah, so like elements like this flower here, like these corners, we can just actually leave out now, so it should fit in people's worlds a lot better. It's not quite displaying the image properly there, is it? But and then the other one, which is quite curious, is if we go to luxury arch bridge as well. This one is quite a big one, but we want to make it so that you can actually build underneath here. So we're going to make it so that only these bits are occupied on each side, and it basically means that you'll be able to put water and things underneath the bridge, so the bridge is actually crossing something, which would be quite cool.
So it's been a whole day of Hexseed levels creating, so half the day yesterday as well was spent on this, so to try and get on top of the levels for the final DLC of the year. And as you can see, what I'm trying to do, sort of making somewhat Christmassy related instead of the level layout. So it's like maybe a cracker here, I think another one here, stockings. Some of them are much better than others, like this might be a Santa hat, kind of works. And some of them just didn't work at all. But I do also just have some patterns here and there as well, just to sort of, not make it all the same. And I do run out of ideas quite quickly. But yeah, just going through making them sort of as best as I can, and then just I'm going to be filling these in with levels and getting as many done as I can.
Okay, yeah, so some biggest changes today actually. Yeah, you can see here the first one is pretty much all this kind of camera pan and stuff set up for the second level now. You can see there's quite a big change in here. This has been changed a little bit. Yeah, basically this is like a kind of drawbridge thing. Lee wanted a box that you knocked into the water here, but I thought it would be nice to kind of do like a little bridge that you could knock down, and then you can cross over. And obviously the water's all new as well. Basically, we wanted something, and we're gonna kind of put it up here as well to try and avoid like instant death falling and whatnot. I think we'd rather just have water here, so you kind of just get damaged over time if you walk in it. I don't know if that makes sense, or we're going to change it to something other than water, but I mean, I guess other video games have let you take damage in water before. Plenty of video games have done it, like GTA games and stuff. Although, yeah, I don't know, they kind of instantly kill you, but yeah, this just damages you over time because we don't want the game to be too difficult and have any like insta death traps really. But yeah, that's the biggest thing. You'll see another one is the UI in the top left. There's now a thing to show you when you can dash. I think this is actually really satisfying to try and time it to exactly when it refills. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't sure of whether we needed it originally, but yeah, it was Lee that suggested it, and I ended up doing it. And yeah, I think it's actually quite nice. It's quite satisfying. It adds a lot. So.
Okay, so it was a pretty fun stream today. The original plan for the stream was to model our new bird as Scarlet, but Rob had the idea beforehand that we could possibly even save Wormy, which is a very old Scarlet that hasn't been used. It was one of the first Scarlets that I made when I first started here, and it wasn't really in the right conditions to be put in the game. But I have updated a lot of the texturing and mesh to sort of get to the same level as the other Scarlets, and I think we're pretty much there. I spent quite a lot of time on stream getting the texture looking right. So I can probably show the old version. That's the shiny there, which is looking pretty good, as well as the emissive on the front. But as for the comparison from the old and new texture, how am I going to do this? Let's just put this outside. So this is the old texture right here. As you can see, there's quite a lot of few texturing mistakes in here. A lot of things happened when I decimated down the geometry, so it messed up the texture. And this is now the new one. A lot more clean and looks a lot more in line with the other Scarlets. However, in the end, I did get some extra time to model the next Scarlet, which is going to be our bird theme one. And you see here, I didn't finish it, but I got really close. It's not completely finished. I want to do some more work on the wings here, but it's overall coming out pretty close to the original aesthetic. Someone in this chat said it does look a bit like a snowman, so I'm hoping the texturing will solve that problem. And I am going to put a leaf on his head here, because that was in the original sketch that I showed off this week, but I forgot to add it into the digital one. So hopefully this won't take too much longer next week, and I'll be able to get this one done and in game.
Cooking is finally finished. Yay! I had a blast. Making all the cooking items. It was really, really, really fun. It was super challenging, but I think I did pretty well. To celebrate, I'm showing you this toastie, because it's ToastieLabs, and it looks very delicious.
Cool. Please cut that out. Guys, it's Friday, it's the weekend. Woo, it's the weekend. Yeah, so getting to the end of the year still, so we've got the Advent books coming out, they're getting announced. Well, being announced now, so check those out. There's a couple of giveaways live on Discord. I think they'll still be live as well. By the time the video goes out, so make sure you check out the Discord for the giveaways. We also have a Hexseed DLC coming out, and then most importantly, we're getting closer and closer to that Skystead Ranch release. So if you're backed on Kickstarter, check your inbox. You might have a beta access key if you're backed, just out of certainty.
Cool. Thanks for watching and all that.